Satoru Mikami was 37 years old and already felt like life had passed him by. No wife, no kids, no adventures, just another office worker floating through routines. He wasn't unhappy, but he wasn't alive either. That changed the moment a man with a knife ran past him on a crowded street. Without thinking, Satoru stepped forward, shoving his co-worker and his fiancée out of harm's way and into safety. The blade sank into his side instead. As he lay bleeding on the pavement, the world dimming, a strange voice echoed in his mind. A voice that sounded neither human nor divine, mechanical, calm, precise. It began listing abilities: acquired heat resistance, pain, nullification, unique skill, predator, unique skill, great sage. Satoru had no idea what was happening, only that the voice was rewriting him. His last thought before death was a simple request: destroy my computer, just in case. Then, darkness. When he awoke, he felt nothing. No pain, no cold, no heartbeat, just movement. He tried to open his eyes, but he didn't have any. He tried to speak, but had no mouth. He wasn't breathing because he didn't need to. After a few minutes of panic, realization hit him like a wave. He had no limbs, no face, no body. He was a slime. Well, he muttered in his head, at least I'm not dead, just downgraded. Confused, but adaptable, he began exploring the dark cave he found himself in. Every time he touched something, herbs, stones, creatures, his predator skill activated automatically, absorbing and analyzing it. He didn't know why, but it made him stronger. Days turned into weeks. The voice, Great Sage, became his companion, answering questions, calculating outcomes, even suggesting names for skills he created. Eventually, he learned how to move with water jets, sense heat, and even see through vibration. For a blob of jelly, life was starting to get interesting. One day, his curiosity led him to a strange barrier deep in the cave. He couldn't see through it, but he could feel an immense power behind it, something ancient. When he spoke, a booming voice answered back. The voice belonged to Veldora, the Storm Dragon, a legendary beast sealed for 300 years by a hero's spell known as the Infinity Prison. At first, Satoru trembled, but Veldora was surprisingly chatty. The two talked for hours, laughing, comparing their lives. One a lonely dragon, the other a reincarnated office worker turned blob. And in that strange friendship, something human sparked again in Satoru. He offered to find a way to free Veldora by analyzing the prison with his predator skill. In exchange, the dragon gave him a name. From that moment on, he was Rimuru, and together they shared a family name, Tempest. With a smile only a slime could manage, Rimuru absorbed Veldora into his body, sealing their promise and beginning the long process of freeing him from within. But the moment Veldora vanished, a shockwave rippled across the world. Nations trembled. Adventurers panicked. The disappearance of the Storm Dragon meant the forest was now open for conquest. Unaware of all that, Rimuru simply continued his journey, sliding happily through the world like it was a big, slimy playground. Outside the cave, Rimuru finally felt sunlight again. The air smelled new, and freedom, for once, was real. But he wasn't alone, not for long. He came across a group of goblins, ragged, wounded, and terrified. They called him Great One, sensing the aura of power left behind by Veldora. Their leader, old and trembling, begged Rimuru for help. Their guardian spirit, Veldora, had vanished, and now a pack of dire wolves was threatening to wipe out their entire village. Rimuru hesitated. He wasn't a hero. He was just a guy. But looking at the injured goblins reminded him of the people he saved that day, and the ones he left behind, so he agreed. "All right," he said, puffing up his slimy body. "I'll help you out. Let's make this place a fortress." Rimuru healed the wounded, using potions he brewed from the hippocute herbs he'd eaten before, restoring strength to their fighters. Then he had the goblins tear down their huts and build walls, reinforcing them with sticky web threads he'd copied from a spider back in the cave. The goblins watched in awe as this talking slime commanded them with intelligence and humor, barking orders like a tiny, jiggly general. That night, the dire wolves came. Their leader was massive, claws like blades, eyes glowing under the moonlight. Rimuru's traps activated, pinning some of the wolves in place, but the leader broke through. Rimuru sighed. "You just had to make this dramatic, didn't you?" He gave the boss one chance to retreat. It didn't take it. In a blur, Rimuru unleashed his water blade, slicing clean through the beast. The battle ended in seconds. When the dust settled, Rimuru devoured the wolf's body, and with it, gained its form and abilities. Taking a new shape, he looked at the surviving wolves and said, "Submit or run. Your choice." The wolves bowed. They submitted to Rimuru Tempest, the great slime. By dawn, he had not one, but 2 tribes under his care, goblins and dire wolves. The next morning, Rimuru faced a new challenge. Not monsters, but management. He had goblins building, wolves hunting, and no names for anyone. And in this world, a name is power. So Rimuru decided to give each of them one. One by one, goblins and wolves lined up as the little slime handed out names like Candy, Rigor, Gobta, Ranga. By the time he finished, Rimuru was completely drained. "Great sage," he muttered. "I might have overdone it." Moments later, he collapsed. When he finally woke up, everything was bigger. The goblins were taller, stronger, more human-looking. The wolves were massive, glowing with magic. Rimuru realized he hadn't just named them, he'd evolved them. Rigord, now muscular and proud, bowed deeply. "Lord Rimuru, thank you for blessing us with new strength." And Ranga, the wolf leader, wagged his tail, now large enough to level a tree. Rimuru smiled. "Great, now I've got a population problem." Their new bodies meant bigger appetites, new houses, new systems. So Rimuru organized the chaos, assigning hunting teams, patrols, and builders. For the first time, this world had a leader who wasn't born strong, but became strong for the sake of others. As he watched his people train and laugh, Rimuru felt something he hadn't felt since his human life. Purpose. He was no longer just surviving, he was building. A home, a community, a new life. Soon, Rimuru would travel to the dwarf kingdom of Dwargon to seek help for his growing village. But that's another story. For now, this is where it all began. A man who died protecting others, reborn as the weakest creature in the world, and yet somehow destined to become one of its strongest. This is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, and this was just the beginning.